Hello and welcome to From Agenda to Action, the City of Ames podcast that helps you understand what is coming up at the City Council dais and why it matters to our community. I'm Bill Gebhart with Communications and Outreach. Ames City Council meets on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month, and this podcast is here to help you get ready for those conversations. Today we're previewing the upcoming City Council meeting scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th at 6 p.m. We'll highlight a few key items from the agenda so you know what to watch for. And today I'm joined by a special guest, Assistant City Manager Vang Goldbeck. Pa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I wanted to start off by noting that we have a meeting before the meeting this time.
Yes.
At 5:30 is the Ames Conference Board.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ames Conference Board is one that assists the city assessor in the work that they do. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If you come and there's a meeting already running, don't worry. The City Council meeting does not start before 6. And so it'll either start at 6 o'clock or immediately following the Ames Conference Board, should it go longer than 6.
Yep.
All right, well, let's jump into this agenda. The first thing that I noticed is there's actually a presentation that we're kicking off with. We normally kick off with consent agenda, but we're kicking off with a presentation. Can you tell me a little bit about that presentation?
Yeah, this is a really exciting opportunity. So we will start with an overview of the findings from the child care feasibility study. So United Way and 7 other community partners have commissioned this study, and now it's ready to be shared with the community. It's been out there for a little while, but we haven't had the presentation yet at council. So they'll be here to talk to us a little bit about the data that they've analyzed and combining that with some best practices around child care services. And then the study also identifies a roadmap just for improving access to childcare.
And so they'll just be presenting their information they found to council for their information so that council can make decisions in the future, not necessarily on Tuesday.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So then after that, we get into consent agenda. On consent agenda, we always like to talk about a few things that are definitely community focused. One thing that I saw in there was Eco Fair.
Yes.
That's an exciting community event that's coming up.
It is. So there's an item for the council to approve a special event, Eco Fair. That's going to be held this year on October 17th from 9 to noon. And that happens in the City Hall parking lot. So this is a really fun event. It's free for the community. It's really educational, and it's really focused on sustainability and resource conservation efforts.
And then the reason that comes to council is because they need things like obstruction permits to block the streets and vendor permits so that we can have the different booths and things that we have here.
Correct. Yep. And I love this event, especially because we host it and
yes.
It's free.
Yes, absolutely. And then another thing I saw on the consent agenda was the boards and commissions survey.
Yeah. So there are over 100 volunteers in the community who serve every year on our boards and commissions. And so one of the things we started doing last year was just connecting with those volunteers and saying, hey, how's your experience going? And so this is us sharing the results from that conversation with them.
Oh, that'll be great. And so I just want to remind everyone out there that these are on consent agenda. So we may not actually hear more about it than you've heard on this podcast, because unless a council member decides to pull those agenda items, those all can get passed with a single motion. So let's get into the regular agenda then. So the first thing I see on the regular agenda is data centers, which has been on the agenda for a few weeks now. And so what are we talking about this time?
Yeah, so the City Council will continue conversations on the data center. So at the last meeting, the June 14th meeting, the council voted to establish a temporary delay in allowing data center developments. And so they've also asked that staff prepare some language for this delay. So that will be before council this Tuesday. And then as part of that as well, the council members agreed to bring questions and topics that they'd like to see addressed around the data center conversation. So we'll be hearing that on Tuesday night as well. And then lastly, at the last meeting, we talked about the need for a definition around data center. And so that will be proposed as well. So that'll be available to you to review. Another
exciting thing is the Ames Municipal Energy Center.
Yeah, so for a while now, the council has been discussing a new facility for where the next generation of electric assets will be installed. And so the item before council is to consider awarding some contracts for some large equipment that is required in order to generate electricity. So they're considering what we've been talking about as the RICE engine, so 2 really large generation engines, and then also the step-up reformer that's needed in order for those engines to work. So large equipment's a huge part of the facility that will be up for council consideration.
Absolutely. And if anyone wants to know more information about that, we had a workshop last Tuesday where they covered that at the workshop. So you could go to the city's YouTube channel, listen to Don Com and Curtis Spence tell council about all of these things kind of in great detail. I mean, it was about an hour and a half where they talked about this too. So people that are interested could definitely go to our YouTube channel and watch that previous meeting. Was there anything else on the agenda that caught your eye that we should talk about?
Yeah, I just want to mention one more. So for a while, council has also talked about improvements to that 13th and Grand intersection. So we've got an item on the council agenda to review and approve some easements. So staff has been able to obtain about 10 easements for council to consider. There's a few more that are in the works, but these 10 are ready to go. So this will be a big part of the project and the improvements on 13th and Grand. Overall, the goal here is to add a dedicated left turn lane and then also new traffic signals to that intersection.
which could be a big improvement for that intersection. So that's good. So that is just a preview of the 39 items that are currently on the city council agenda. So as a reminder, we're working from the agenda as it stands right now, and agendas can be amended up to 24 hours before the meeting. So we encourage you to check out the most current version at cityofames.org/citycouncil. This meeting begins at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, July 28th. 5:30 is going to be the conference board, but 6 p.m. is a council meeting, and you can attend in person or you can watch online. Pa, thank you so much for being here and walking us through the agenda.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you all for listening, and we'll be back with a recap of what happened next week.
From Agenda to Action is a City of Ames podcast.